Hey guys, back again with another review, and this time it's 2011's Chromeskull Later Rest 2. But before I review that, I will put an annotation up here for my review of the first movie. So if you want to watch that before this one, you can. If not, and you've seen it before or you don't really care, you don't have to click it. But it's there to give you that, that option. So basically, this film came out and it follows straight after the first one. So I will get into the cast and then I will tell you what I think of the film. So basically, this film is directed by Robert Hall, like the first one is. It stars Brian Austin Green, Thomas Dekker, Mimi Michaels, Owen Yeoman, Daniel Harris, Gallo Grady, Jonathan Skeck, Nick Principal, Christopher Allen Nelson, and a whole list of other people. And yep, that's it really. So basically the film starts where it left off in the first one. So basically it starts again. It doesn't have a recap per se of what happened, but what happens is it shows coming out and getting in the car and talking to Tommy. Now the problem with the beginning is because for some reason, I think because they changed the girl, I think you don't see her face at all until later on in the movie. It's like cut off on every scene kind of thing. So they kind of drive off. She goes, I left a note. They drive off and the police turn up. And then they get killed. And these men in black come and they go, is he still breathing? And all this. And they put him on a stretcher. They put him in this van. And Preston, the leader of this group, it looks like the one in charge, he watches the video back. And he goes, oh, so that's what happened, is it? Oh, I'll see. So they basically take him off. He then basically Chromeskull basically gets, because his face in the first one got kind of melted with all this acid stuff and like really pushed in and smashed in. You're like, this guy's dead. He's dead as a door now. But no, he's got Jason Voorhees going on in there. So basically, they give him surgery, like rebuild his face and all this, and they put him, and he's in a bed, and Preston talks to him, and he basically shows him the video footage of him earlier. Now, I don't get this either. Tommy leaves that girl from the original one, and leaves her on her own straight after all that crap has happened. Just to go to the shop, and then he acts like, oh, nothing's going to happen, and you're like, Tommy, you bastard. You're like, Tommy, come on, don't do that. Be smart. Be smart, man. So he goes back and basically finds her dead because Preston got in there and he slices her face and calls him killing her. Well, going back to present time, Preston tells Chromeskull basically what he did and shows him. And Chromeskull being in his kind of vegetative state, even though he's awake, but he rips the cover and gets really angry. But he doesn't do anything other than like, ripping on the sheets and stuff. So it says 3 months later, and then we meet Jess, a kind, loving girl with a friend. And the biggest problem with this girl is she's going blind from scar tissue on her eye. So she's going blind, and you're like, And then you see Danielle Harris. Now, Danielle Harris in this movie is called Spank, but I'm gonna call her Spanky. So for this whole movie, she's very underutilized. You're sitting there going, come on, I want to see more Danielle Harris. You don't. You only see short bits of her. So she basically shows Chromeskull the footage of Jess and goes, you can play with her as much as you like. And she shaves his head and everything. And that's a bit creepy, but, you know, I was hoping she'd be the girl in trouble. You know, I was like, oh, come on, I want someone else. And then it was like, this movie's going to be like Hatchet 2 and 3 again. And the fact that she's not used properly and wasting her talents. So that happens, and basically he goes after Jess, and he kills her friend she's staying with, and he kidnaps her and throws her in a coffin. He then kills Tommy's flatmate, or apartment mate, or room buddy, whatever you want to call it. And he doesn't know, and then he finds out she's dead, and he's at the station, and Preston grabs hold of him, and he takes him there, and to where Jess is, where the coffins are. You just sit there going, it's getting a bit dull. And Preston has this real, like, Preston has him on the video footage. And Preston goes, I did all this for you. And then you got Daniel Harris basically telling Chromeskull that that Preston is going against authority and testing him, and that he basically wants to take control. And you're just sitting there going, this is bollocks, you know, a whole load of rubbish. So Preston then grabs hold of Tommy and says, "You want me to finish him off?" Because they talk, and Chromeskull talks via text message in the screen. So basically, Preston was his enforcer, and he tells him, he says, your services are no longer needed in your position. So he goes bonkers, goes and gets a tattoo on his chest of the Chromeskull symbol. I think the first symbol from the original one with the like things. And then he decides to shave his head and dress up as Chromeskull himself and go around killing people. Because that's how you leave your job when you get angry. You dress up as your boss, you go around killing people. Earlier in the film, he pushes someone's face down on the knives. And you're like, ooh, yeah. See, the death scenes in this movie are better than the first one. And they're a lot more fun. And a lot more 80s like. But I really, really didn't like the story. So here we go, back to the story. Jess gets out, she calls her mum. Mummy, help me, mummy. I don't know where I am, mummy. What does her mum do? She doesn't go and call the police straight away. She decides to try and keep calling Jess back. Oh no, where's Jess? I'll keep calling her back. Oh yeah, because, you know, a ringtone might be on. It might alert everybody to where she is. So eventually Jess calls the police, and she tells them, they go, put the phone down, Jess, we're going to track you. And they send 2 cops who get killed, 4 cops that get killed, and then the last 4, and 3 of them get killed. And you're like, why isn't there a SWAT team coming in? Why isn't there a SWAT team? So there's a bit of a Preston where he goes, I'm going to leave Tommy. He leaves Tommy and Jess, goes, pick whatever you like, what you want to kill me with. I'll be back soon to see you. And you're sitting there going, why would he walk off and leave them? Where they can just run away. So he comes back just to Chromeskull and Preston basically go around killing people, and you can't tell who's who. And then basically Tommy and Jess are stuck in this metal cage they've locked themselves in, and Preston's like, I'm gonna kill you, because he wears the same mask and everything. And then Chromeskull catches him from behind, ties him up, slits his throat really cold up, till his body falls off, turns his head around where it's gone, and you're like, oh, nice. Then the cops come in, they get killed, and then basically he chases after Jess. You can barely see. Chromeskull chases Jess, who can barely see at all. She gets away. The police officer shoots him while holding her. He falls on the ground. And then they go outside, and there's the FBI, and there's the credits, right? Then after the credits, there's another scene where a woman's going on about her husband being missing, and they show her pictures of a man who basically is having sex with a dead body, I guess, because she goes, "Why is he laying on that body, and why is he smiling?" And she ends up shooting herself in the head. When the cop's hugging her, she takes the gun and shoots herself in the head. But you just sit there going, Why would anybody? Why would anybody in this? The problem is with this movie is it's all about the deaths. The deaths are really, really awesome, but there's no real story because once it gets Tommy and Jess at the place, the only story you've really got is them trying to survive in the same position. They're not going anywhere. They're not leaving the place. You've got Preston in a kind of anger with Chromeskull. Apparently, they're supposed to be having some sort of what's the word? Leadership problem. Then you've got Spanky, played by Daniel Harris, who's trying to get the lead position for herself, so trying to get Preston killed. And you're just sitting there going, don't like this. I like the original one because I thought the original one was pretty good. Because even though they had only a few places, it wasn't like it was stuck in the same building. The police were useless. They were just standing there getting killed. Like, it's a bit where Chromeskull cuts somebody's throat and their blood squirts from the other police officer's eyes, and he goes, ah, because he's got blood in his eyes, and you're like, what? Another guy ends up on a hook, and you're like, there's 4 of them. Why can't they have shot him? Oh, when they do shoot him, and he is dead, you see his camera on low battery, with him picking up his mask, and basically Daniel Harris saying at the end, oh, it's all getting sorted, you have fun, and he's walking down Hollywood Boulevard. I don't know, is it Boulevard? He's walking down Hollywood. And you're just sitting there going, don't like this. And there's an open ending there because he's doing a 3rd one. I'm just thinking, do I want to see the 3rd one? Because after watching Hatchet 2, I was like, do I want to watch the 3rd Hatchet movie? And I was like, yeah, well, I will to finish the trilogy. But I probably will do with this one as well. But it was just really disappointing. The characters seemed so boring. Brian Austin Green, he was pretty fun in it. I liked how crazy he was and how he liked killing people. I like that. And I like Chromeskull's killing skills again because I thought they were great. But other than that, it was a fun movie. It was a fun movie, but there was no storyline. Like, why was he picking up Jess? Why does he keep putting people in coffins? Who is this organisation that all of a sudden popped up and basically cleans up everything and makes people disappear so that it's not questioned? And he's got this really disfigured face now, and you see it, and he looks just like bloody Jason Voorhees would now, with the scars and like that. But obviously with massive scars. There's a bit where he goes like this, like he's some sort of granddad with no teeth. And you're like, bloody hell. So it's one of those movies which, to be honest with you, I did enjoy. It didn't make any sense. There was no real story. It was more of a gore fest. And to be honest with you, it felt like most of the characters were just there to be killed. And that is good in a horror film, but I like to have a story. We live in a world now where we don't just want to see people getting killed. We want to see a story as well. You know, not that people in the 80s weren't intelligent, but it was more newer than the slasher genre. You know, it was still fresh. Now, like 30, 40 years later, I know it's not 40 years later since the 80s, but slashers were in the 70s as well. 34 years later, we're getting the same thing over and over again. And I would, other than the character Preston by Brian Austin Green, I was quite bored. Tommy Decker who played Tommy wasn't that interesting. Mimi Michaels as Jess wasn't interesting. Danielle Harris, who plays Span, aka Spanky, she should have been the winning formula for this movie, but she does nothing. She's just sitting there or just shaving his head or just talking to him. And you're like, she should be doing something horror queenish, something exciting, not being boring. So now I'm thinking she's going to be in the 3rd movie, just like she was in the Hatchet movies, and they're going to be terrible. Because now I'm starting to symbolise poor Danielle Harris, with crappy movies instead of horror movies. Crappy horror movies, unwatchable almost. And she used to be a real queen of, she used to be like the new age queen of horror movies, like, you know, like now. So I'm disappointed by it. I'm disappointed by this film because I was looking forward to watching it. The first one was okay. I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was the greatest movie in the world, but I liked it. This movie, because it has this organisation in it who does nothing. Once they're at the warehouse place, there's only Preston and a couple of guys making knives and Span, aka Spanky, and that's it. There's nothing else going on with them. You're like, what's the point of having a minute then? So I'm hoping the third movie we find out basically what it is. Oh, and there's a little flashback of Chromeskull and his father, and he kisses his father's dead body from what it looked like to me. So apparently now everybody's like, what's the organisation? Now I reckon it's because one is rich, two is the killer and he needs people to clean it up, and three because it's just controversial. I can't say it. Three, it's just a load of crap basically. You know, so I'm hoping it gets better. Preston's now dead, so that was one of my favourite characters now in that movie, dead. So as long as I have Danielle Harris in the next one, I'll probably watch it. But yeah, I'd recommend it if you like gory kills, and I'd recommend it if you watch the first one because it does follow on from it. Even though the main girl gets killed from the first one in the first 15 minutes, and it goes on to Jess, and there's no real reason behind why he would take her. There just isn't. Just doesn't make sense, and that's what most of the movie does. Doesn't make sense. So anyway, I'm gonna give this film a 2 because I enjoyed it, even though it was crap as well as like no story and it was crap. But I enjoyed the kills, and I did enjoy Brian Austin Green's performance. So I'll give it a 2 for that. And I'd recommend giving it a watch if you like bloody kills like Saw and you like low budget horrors, because it's not a really terrible film. It's just got no story and nothing to go on other than what it's doing, and it feels like you're writing a script and you're sitting there and the script's just going on and on and on and on without anything going on. It's like it's gone from the beginning and it's stuck in the middle all the way through to the really stupid end, but it should have been a lot better in my view. So yeah, I give the movie a 2 out of 5. And I'll give it a rental. I'd rent it. So those films I would rent and I wouldn't buy because it's nowhere as good as the first one. But if you like the first one, pick it up, rent it, whatever you do. And it's not terrible, it's just got nothing going for it basically. It's not memorable other than the kills. The kills are the best part. No story, nothing. So it's up to you guys. But thanks for watching, and as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe up here, and I will see you guys soon, and thanks for watching, and have a lovely day. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.